Let's get it.
The city of New York, Boricua from the Bronx.
Yo, what up, people? It's your boy Angel R Talk. We're doing like a dual thing right now. We're doing the video and we're doing the podcast. I got my man Will Collazo in the house,
What's up? What's up?
and it's been a minute, and we're a little. I've been a little inconsistent with the podcast, and I apologize to like all two of my listeners. No. It's actually more like 17. All 17 of my listeners.
What's up, 17 people
yo,
out there?
Yo, what up? So real quick, I want to thank somebody out there. I don't know who it was, man. Somebody on Facebook shared one of my articles about the situation that's going on in Williamsburg and hipsters trying to rename the Avenue of Puerto Rico, Graham Street, trying to rename it, or Graham Avenue.
Really?
They're trying to rename it and make it something else other than Avenue of Puerto Rico,
Really?
And,
Why? I was not aware of that.
oh, people were pissed.
Yo,
Now
these hipsters be bugging, man.
I wrote this a long time ago, but it's like every couple of months it goes viral. So I've been getting like 3,000 views on the article a day. Just that one article, 3,000 views a day, every day for like the past week. So thanks to whoever's big that shared it and somehow it got some momentum. So thank you.
Now, let me ask you a question about that. Gentrification. Now, how do you feel about that process? I went to school in Hell's Kitchen, and it was Hell's Kitchen. It was rough, Man, at one time I was walking down the street, and the chalk paint when somebody's dead? Dude, I seen that in the street, man, at Hell's Kitchen, and it was real. Okay, so I went back a couple months ago just to go bar hopping with my girl, and hipsters have taken over. It's safe now. There's people walking around with man buns. It's a totally different world. So I was like, damn, I'm kind of into this. It's kind of good, man. At first, they changed the whole scene of Hell's Kitchen. Like, what's your opinion on that? There's positives and there's negatives.
That's exactly what it is, right? So,
and it was all gay dudes. I got nothing against gay dudes and stuff.
Hey,
I just cannot believe the change. How just the way things.
Ain't nothing wrong with the gay brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying?
But I felt safe, Angel. That's my main point. Well, 5 years ago, I didn't walking home at night. This time, I felt, I was like, damn, I could not worry.
You know what's up with that? It's like you said, there's good and bad, pros and cons. It's nice when the neighborhood is made safer. It's nice when, the streets are cleaned up and stuff. But there's an unfortunate side effect, right? The people who live there, we'll call them the indigenous people, right? The indigenous people who live there as these, hipsters or whatever, richer people, wealthier people, trust fund people, whatever, they move in, the landlords get hip to it. They jack up the prices of rent. And if you're in an apartment and you're paying $500 for a rent stabilized apartment, they want to get you the hell out so they could rent it to, Billy or his,
his 4 roommates. That's how they do it. They all group up together and they rent out. Yeah.
But then they're gonna jack it up to like 2 G's or 3 G's. They put it up to market value. Then in the store, right? This guy's like, yo, I'm charging $4 for a chopped cheese, whatever, the sandwich, right? And then it's like, well, now these hipsters are coming in. Now I'm gonna charge $8. Now then the locals, the poor people who've always lived there, they can't afford it anymore. They start to get pushed out. That's the down. So what happens to them? And that's exactly what's happening over there.
Yeah.
These hipsters are moving in and they're saying, there's nothing Puerto Rican about Graham. Let's rename it. We don't.
That's not right. That's
not
right. And
it's like, what? There's nothing Puerto Rican about this. Are you guys out of your mind? You just came here from the Midwest or wherever you came from, and you're trying to change the culture, the history of this neighborhood, and that's the problem. And a lot of, the Puerto Ricans ain't having it, man. That post has the most comments on any of my articles on my website. Has the most comments, thousands of comments, and people are pissed. And they're just as pissed today as they were when I wrote the article, whenever it was.
That's what we need. We need a young, hot-blooded Puerto Rican man like you to rise up. Because we haven't had one in a while, man. Like, we haven't had somebody to represent us in a while. Like, who's out there? We had J-Lo, but she's kind of fell back. That's kind of a different thing. We got Mark Anthony. Who's out there? Who's the Puerto Rican? What's the Puerto Rican actor? John Leguizamo? I think he's half. He's Cuban and Puerto Rican.
Leguizamo does his thing. There's a couple guys.
But who's the good example that we have right now?
Oh, dude, I'm drawing a blank on this guy. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this guy's name. Oh my God. He was
Banderas is Spaniard, right?
he,
Antonio Banderas is a He's Spain.
no, no, he's from Spain. What the hell is this guy's name? Oh my God, man, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on him. He's been at the Lozada Fest all the time. I met him a couple times. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, he's very active. But the thing is that, whenever somebody comes out and they're actually making a difference, they lock them up.
Well, you got to tell me that story. I'm not even familiar with that.
I mean, I ain't an expert on it. Trying to basically get the imperialistic Americans out of Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
And sometimes they do things that are a little questionable, trying to make a message or whatever or make a point, and they get locked up as political prisoners,
yeah.
you know. So Oscar Lopez, and I forget, and everybody will have to forgive me for being ill prepared because I didn't plan on bringing him up in detail, but he did something. Again, I'm not even sure exactly what it was, and I feel like it was something that was terroristic in nature.
Now ain't the
Um,
time to do anything with the word
but
terrorist or terroristic.
but this was in like 30 years ago, 35 years ago.
Yeah,
Albizu Campos, which was a very big nationalist for Puerto Rico and Puerto Rican rights and stuff, and he got locked up, and I mean there's a lot of conspiracy that they gave him cancer, they radiated him,
oh my
like this,
goodness.
a lot of stuff, and
That's some Deadpool shit right there. If you saw Deadpool the movie, you know what I'm talking
yeah, but unfortunately he didn't mutate,
about.
he didn't mutate and become
Oh,
awesome,
bonito.
he ended up jacked up, man. So he lost his life, and but
Oh my goodness.
he spent the majority of his life locked up, and it was the United States, so I mean, if I become that Puerto Rican that's out there, I might end
I
up
think you
locked up,
should,
yo.
because you, Angel, man.
They might try to shut me down. Y'all gonna be marching out there like free angel,
All
So,
right, since we're going down this topic, I have a very serious question. I want you to answer as honestly as possible. If I'm wrong, you can even tell me man to man that I'm wrong and you feel
oh man,
my opinion is bad on it. All right, so I'm going to come real and raw with it. This is something that I've experienced my whole life. Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, I grew up in Starrett City. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's not the best place to grow up.
what's it
Went to
called?
Starrett City in Brooklyn,
Okay, yeah, I've been
right
there.
off the Belt Parkway.
I've been there.
So even growing up, I noticed this. Like growing up as a kid, all my friends were black. There wasn't really white kids out there. It was mostly black. The only white kids were like Russians and stuff. And then there was the Puerto Rican kids. And even I noticed, like at that time, like the Puerto Rican kids never really embraced me. Like they were always kind of, I would try and be friends with them. The black boys were always my friends and stuff growing up. And as I got older, like I experienced that again and again constantly. I will always have like run-ins with Spanish people. Now I had one Puerto Rican best friend. We're kind of not really on good terms right now. And then you were the only other Puerto Rican dude that I met that really embraced me and didn't judge me. I don't know if that come across too white. I guarantee you, I may not be fluent in Spanish like I really should be, but I come from a straight up Puerto Rican family. My dad is brown. My mom and dad are both 100% Puerto Rican. My sisters, we ate all the Spanish food, platanos, pastelillos, everything. Just the whole
Oh
thing.
man, yeah. I know where you're going
Well, I
with
would
this,
cook
bro.
every morning, but
I know
Angel, I
exactly where
swear
you're
to
going with
God,
this,
in
man.
my life, I have always been rejected by Puerto Rican like dudes, and I've always been
Yo,
hated on, and it's just something that I don't understand. And
bro,
it's like my trust for like
we're
my
here,
own,
bro. We're
yeah,
here.
my
We're
trust for
right
my
here.
own people has gone down because I seen like crazy things. And I'm a really nice guy. I don't judge by color or race. You know what I'm saying? I do play on stereotypes for comedy reasons though.
Mm,
But it's like it's something that I don't understand, and it really throws me off, and it kind of breaks my heart in a way. It's like I don't know,
bro,
man. Can you elaborate on that? It's something I
look,
even get emotional talking about it right now because it's just
no, the thing is, man, I think this is we share this in common, and this is the experience for a lot of, and oh man, I wish I could get this freaking guy on right now. This guy William Garcia. We've gone on this topic so many times because within the Latino community, right?
yeah.
There are stereotypes and there are racism.
That's what
There
I'm
is
saying.
privilege. So check it. This is the crazy thing because I'm with you on this, right?
Yeah.
And I wrote a real bad article, which I'm actually ashamed that I wrote it to a degree. I wrote this on WND, which is a super right-wing site, and I posted it on there, and they twisted my words and exploited it and made it in a way that it seems more offensive to where I come from than I meant it to be.
Yeah.
But it's partially true for a lot of the stuff I wrote. So because we're light skinned, right?
Yes.
Because we're light skinned, we have to be honest with this. We get a certain degree of privilege in the world. Okay? We walk the streets and we're looked at differently than someone who's black, be it they're Puerto Rican, be it
Yeah.
they're black, whatever. But it can't be denied, right?
Yeah.
Now, because of that, growing up in the hood, you and I both grew up in the hood, and we both try to do better for ourselves, right? We went to school. We tried to do the right thing. So now you're a light-skinned guy who's trying to do the right thing in the hood.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. That's even with my best friend. He kind of stood here and I kind of went up here, got my career and stuff on straight. And now we just clash on it, man. And it just like,
Yo, I had one of my
it breaks
boys.
my heart, man. It
No,
breaks my heart, man. It really
what
does. Just the whole
what
situation.
one of my boys said to me, "You think you're better than us. You don't hang out anymore. You don't come to the block anymore." And I'm like, dude,
That's
it,
it. Yeah.
this is nothing. You know why I don't go on the block? Because I've been up against the wall with the cops when they bum rush
Yeah.
the scene. I don't stand in the corner in the block because I don't want to catch a bullet. You
Yeah.
understand? So if we're gonna hang, we can hang. We can go out to have dinner.
Go
I'll
to a
come,
nice establishment. You
you
know
know,
what I'm saying?
I'll
When you
come over
12
to
or
you.
13, 14, that's cool. But
Yeah. So it's very complicated, and we could make an entire podcast talking about this. You know,
I can't believe that you're aware of this. I thought I
no,
was
no,
like the
yo,
only one.
dude, I'm when this is
Because you're like
done.
me. We're the same
Yeah.
complexion. You know what
When
I'm
when
saying?
this is done, I'm gonna put links on the show notes, right? And I'm gonna
Yeah.
put links to the articles that I've written about not being accepted by my own people. There's an organization called Kapiku, and I've been going to Kapiku for poetry events and
Yeah.
performing, and
Copy cool. That's like when you play dominoes. You go copy cool, right? That
but
sounds familiar.
so there's a poetry
Yeah.
organization, they're a cultural organization, and that's how I've been reconnecting with my Latino roots. That's how it
Wow.
started. So you might want to come down sometime and
I
check it
might
out
check it out, man. I've been
because
dying to hang with you. I might have to check that out.
yo, and I wrote about this and I said it to them at the event. I said, where were you guys when I was a kid? Why didn't I feel
Yeah.
this? Why didn't I feel this love from the community when I was a kid? Because when I was a kid, I couldn't wait to get out of the freaking ghetto and get
Yeah.
away
Oh my
from
God. I couldn't wait to me neither. I used to dream about being in Long Island because my cousins lived out here.
I and so yeah, I'm with you 100% on this, man. And it's sad, but the good thing is now we're older. We're
Yeah.
older, and we can we can reconnect with our Latinidad and get back into our community, and embrace it. And I've been getting a lot more involved, and it's a different experience now as a grown man than it was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I feel you on it, man. I've written about this, and I've gotten a lot of flack about it. I've been called racist. I've been called a traitor.
Yeah.
I've been called a bigot. Because I talk about my reality, and my reality was
Yeah.
I was a blanquito in the ghetto, going to school. I spoke proper English, and people used to beat me up because of it.
Oh my God. I used
I
to have
used to
to
get,
have fights all the
yeah,
time in school.
and it was mostly my own people, the Puerto Ricans.
Well, I was
They,
always fighting the
they,
black boys. They
yeah,
were always
they used to jack me
until
up
I
too.
fought back. Then when I fought back, they accepted me for some reason, and you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, they used to jack me up, but the Dominicans never messed with me.
me neither.
The
Yeah.
Dominicans never mess with me.
And I remember
And
the Puerto Ricans always tell me, "Oh, don't be friends with Dominicans. They're
yeah,
bad. They're
Dominicans
this
never
and that."
mess with
And
me.
then I met a Dominican dude, and he was mad cool.
Dominicans never jumped me up. It was Puerto Ricans and black dudes, man. Those were the ones who used to
Yeah.
beat me up and rob me. This is the topic you
Yeah,
mentioned that you
yeah,
wanted to
this is the
bring up.
topic, man, because I never
Yo,
really even opened my mouth about this. It's more of a thing where they like see me or meet me, and they're like, they don't really want to mess with me. They just write me off
but is
completely.
that
Like I'm
still
not a
is that still the case now, or
honestly, my experience even at work with like Spanish and Latino people has always gone sour. Like they're always doing something like slanderous to me. Maybe it's just the people or the individuals. So now when I like Me, the Spanish person, I'm very Hispanic person. I'm very hesitant, man. I'm very hesitant to trust them just from my life experience. And I hate to say that. That sounds horrible,
Hey,
man.
you know,
Because I love being Latino. I'm so
yeah,
proud. I consider myself Latino. I don't consider myself white. I consider myself, Puerto Rican. And
we're all products of our experiences, man.
yeah,
If people treated you badly and
yeah.
you're gonna, it's what it is, man. It's what it
And
is.
I don't want to. I don't want to become like that, man. I don't want to be like, I
No,
don't even. Can you
this
curse on here or not? This is a clean
I
podcast.
mean, you've already slipped a few in there.
I'm
I try
sorry,
to,
man.
I try to keep it clean, but
Yeah.
it's all
All right.
good. It's all good. We're all adults here. You know.
But thank you for elaborating on that, man. I have a better understanding, man. And I just like, it's just a weird thing. I guess there is racism, Like, I
There
remember I was
is.
talking to a group of black guys, and he's like, man, black people hate each other. And he's like, I guess it's like in every community, people just, I don't want to say jealousy. There's just some kind of,
Well, if
it's
you're
just
doing,
humanity.
there's a crab mentality, which I covered often. I've written about it a bunch of times. If you're trying to do well, and I'm not, oh no, no,
Yeah,
I can't let you rise. I'm gonna try
yeah,
to pull you down. So there's this crab mentality, like crabs in a barrel, which exists in particularly poorer communities, and where we come from, it's just predominantly a certain group because that's where we come from, right?
yeah,
That's where we grew up. But that's a deep topic, man. It's a very, very deep topic, and I really wish Will was here because this freaking guy can. He's a scholar of this stuff, man.
yeah.
And
Oh
me and
man.
him, me and him have had some. We don't agree because he's of the belief that because I'm light skinned, my life is infinitely better, you know. And I
All right. So
didn't.
what's the benefits of being a light skinned Puerto Rican? People think that you're white because everybody thinks I'm Italian, which I'm not at all.
Well,
I guess you get a little more attention from
you're
white
not
women or something like that.
you're not gonna get as much grief from the cops, right? You're going to get a little bit of a nicer treatment. Society in general, if you're walking down the street, the woman's not going to grab her purse. Let's be
Yeah,
real. You know what I'm saying? That's just one of the things. And I mean, I've even noticed it abroad when I travel. People treat me nicer if I
yeah,
go to like Dominican Republic because I'm a lighter hue.
yeah,
It's I mean, I acknowledge it. I acknowledge that there is a degree of privilege.
yeah.
But what gets me mad about Will is that he doesn't acknowledge my struggle. So he doesn't accept um the difficulties that I had coming up in the street. Like for me, going to school was like a war zone. It was like going to
Oh my
prison,
God. I
you
remember
know?
being in a fight with this special ed kid, and I had to put him in the desk, and the teacher was just sitting there watching us. I'm fighting for my life and saying, help, help. Yo, going to school in like Brooklyn, or even
Yo,
worse than
but
Brooklyn, the
but
Bronx.
here's
The
but
Bronx is
here's
on
the
another
thing.
level.
But now you're the blanquito in a school that's predominantly black
Yeah,
that sees you as a white kid.
yeah,
So you gotta, people don't get it. Like this is what gets me mad. Like I say, I had to really bust my butt because it's not like because I'm light skinned, I went and applied for a job and I said, hey guys, I'm light, let me in. No, I
yeah.
had to. All they see is Rodriguez. I
Mm-hmm.
had to distinguish myself with my grades. I had to distinguish myself with my effort. I had to be at the top of the heap through the hard work. It wasn't my light skin. In addition to that, every time that I was trying to do something positive, I was getting kicked in the mouth by the kids who wanted to hold me back or the kids who were calling me a blanquito and beating me
Yeah,
up because of that. So it gets me, it irks me. It irks me when people don't recognize the things I went through because I'm light skinned, they think that these no, you didn't have a struggle. It's like, man, you don't know. I had the struggle that all Latinos have, okay? Plus the fact that I had the Latinos beating the crap out of me because they said I was white.
that's crazy, man.
So I mean that's a deep, deep man.
Your thing goes even deeper than mine because I never even like got into a fight with a Puerto Rican person. They would just see me and blow me off.
Nah,
You were
nah.
even getting attacked by them.
I got the crap beat out of me, man. I
I
got
always stood away from them because I was always with the black kids, and then you see like a group of Spanish kids and stuff. So it was always like a silent thing, and we would walk by each other. So I was like one of the
so
black kids growing
hey, so you had the advantage. I was alone. I was walking by the
Oh
group
my
of the black
God.
kids, right? Probably your group with the black kids, and y'all would beat me up, right? And then I would keep walking and get through the group with the Spanish kids, and then they beat me up. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was
Oh God!
rough,
And if
man.
there was a white kid in the mix, he was crazy. He was the crazy white kid that would like bite you or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. If you see a like a legit white dude hanging out with the black dudes,
You know he's crazy. He had to
Chappelle
prove himself.
Chappelle Chappelle said that best. He said, you have no idea what that guy did to be accepted and earn their respect.
Damn, that's good. What a genius Dave Chappelle is. That probably is the greatest comedy series of all time, like TV show, skit show like that. The gold that somebody put on Facebook a skit from it today where he was reenacting, the Wu Tang Clan with Method Man when he did that. I forgot the name of the song where he's talking about the torture, and Chappelle was sitting there in the hospital and he was just repeating it and stuff. It was so funny.
I kind of remember that one.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that one.
Where he talks about heating up a
Oh
stove
man.
on the hanger or whatever. I don't want to get too into it. It's kind of
Oh
graphic for
yeah,
this show.
yeah. That's kind of rough.
But man, Angel, thank you, man. I appreciate that. So let me tell you about how I discovered Angel Rodriguez. I don't even think I ever told you this. So I'm like an MMA historian. So I look up everything, MMA fights, this and that. So I heard about this thing called the Underground Combat League. I guess a famous fighter, Frankie Edgar, fought on it. So I
Right,
looked it up.
right. Frankie
And
Edgar,
this
yeah.
dude's MMA fight is one of the first video that comes up. And so I'm looking at it, and it's a quick fight or whatever, and it's an MMA fight. It's two guys, amateurs going at it. So then I see in the comments the dude Angel wrote in it, and I said, "Oh, let me subscribe to his YouTube page, and I think he's gonna be some tough fighter dude or something like that." Nah, this dude is like talking about doing spoken word, this and that, singing songs. I'm like, "Yo, who is this dude?" He's like Mark Anthony. He's from New York like me. So I'm like, let me follow this cat. This guy's crazy. He don't care. He's singing. He's doing this. He has his own opinion. I watched some of your videos, and
Mm.
you were talking about real shit, that I'm not used to. A lot of people are not used to that. So I'm like, let me follow this dude. He's talented. And then I seen the thing where you were on TV and all this stuff. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm like into filmmaking and stuff like that.
Mm.
So I hit you up. I think I wrote to you on Facebook before. I like your videos or something like that back in the day. But man, I was like, this guy has all the talent. It's just you got to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that I followed you throughout the years and contacted you because you're a good dude,
Hey,
man.
hey, feelings mutual, man. I meant to say, yo, me and this dude, we met not that long ago, but we just vibed. We
Yeah, man.
vibed. We
It's all
vibed real
love, man.
good. Yeah, we vibed
Real
real good.
recognize real, man. I'm telling you. That's
It's it's one of those people. Well, like I told you this before. Like you're one of them people that I mean, a couple years at most, but you feel like you've known them forever.
That's the
You
same
know
thing,
what I mean?
Angel. If you ever hit me up and be like, "Yo, Will, I need a favor. I need a ride somewhere. I need something, dude. I got your back." You know what I'm saying? Because
Appreciate
you're
that,
you're
brother.
a good dude. You took
This
time out of your life to come and help me on.
this bromance is brewing, bro.
Oh.
the, the bromance is y'all can feel the love in the air, people. I know y'all feeling this love in the air.
And the thing is, so he came onto my movie set, and we were on this little theater in the village. Everybody's sitting there, and people are nervous, and people are quiet. And I'm trying to talk to those people. And Angel's in there cracking jokes, making all the people the people laugh. Everybody laughing there, lightening the mood, and it really helped a lot. It helped me as a director because he had everybody cracking up, telling them crazy stories. Because when you're on a movie set, when people don't realize there's a lot of waiting around. That's just the way it is, man. And to have
Yeah,
somebody that could have everybody in a positive mood and keep the morale up, it was fantastic. So that's when I was like, this dude is a legit good dude. So let me tell you something about Angel. I spent time with him. I spent days with him working on a film project. He is not bullshit, man. He is a great guy, man, and he is what he says. Everything that he talks about, he preaches, he practices. So all you people who want to like criticize him, I saw somebody had some nasty comments for you.
oh,
The
plenty.
dude he's a
There's,
good person, man. Like,
there's no shortage of comments, man. Listen, man. Whenever you go out there, and I mean, you do film, right?
yeah,
You're gonna put this film out. You gotta expect that when you put out art, or be it commentary, or
yeah,
be it, you're gonna get some people that are gonna love it, and some people are gonna hate it. For
yeah,
every positive thing you've said today about me, which I appreciate,
yeah.
somebody has said the complete opposite and then some. Like I've
Yeah,
had,
somebody said that you're a bucket of throw up. Like, what do they think that you're some Puerto Rican monster going
oh,
out there pushing little white old men over?
I thought but
Why
that
would somebody
insult,
say that to
that
you?
insult is like, it's not even an insult. He said I'm a bucket of puke. Like, dude,
What is that?
is that the best you got? Is that the best insult that you can give me? Call me vomit? Because, I mean, if that, I mean, I can help the guy out, give him some tips,
Oh my
on
God.
offense 101. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, he said, you're nothing but a bucket of puke. Like,
I
what?
saw that and I'm like,
People,
that's why I wanted to
I
address that.
straight up got called a bucket of puke. I mean, and the other thing he said to me, he was like, he must have been dropped on his head when he was little.
Oh, that's messed up. What is
That's
wrong with these
that's
people?
all you got? That's all you got? That's the best you got? Come on, you could do
Yeah,
better
but
than that.
Angel, the thing I don't understand, okay, you speak out and you speak your mind, but never once have I seen you speak anything negative. It's mostly positivity and your opinion. And
But
people just come at you on that, man. It's
that's
not
what
like
it
you're
is
preaching
though.
hate. It's not like
You
you're
know,
neo-Nazi preaching hate. That's the
that's what
thing I don't get.
that's what it is though. You put an opinion. An opinion is there's always going to be someone with another opinion. And no matter how neutral you try to be, no matter how fair you try to be. Yo, I had somebody go off on me on Twitter like, I'm gonna tell you what I said. I said Captain America should not be made gay. He's been dating women. Just leave him be.
Yeah.
That's all I said. And I don't think there's anything offensive to the gay community.
Oh,
There's nothing offensive. And she went off. I mean, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think, good sir. Goodbye to you. I'm just like, bro. I mean, she just was hostile, and I blocked her.
either. I think Captain America should be straight too. So
Hey,
there's
he's
nothing.
the thing is to me is that he's a hetero guy. He is a
Yeah.
hetero guy. He has a girlfriend. Why change that? And one of the topics that I want to bring up, well, you know what? We're going to segue into this right now, okay?
Okay.
We're going to segue into this because it ties into this, all right? And this further.
Okay. So let me drop this point on you, right? So did you know that Hercules? Oh, there goes your wife. Hey,
Hey,
did you know that Hercules? You know Hercules, right?
I do.
He had male lovers. He had male lovers. If you
Hey,
look at the history of it, does that
if you
change
if
your
you
opinion on Hercules?
not at all, man. I mean, I don't want him ramming me in the butt because he might hurt me. You know what I'm saying? That's a strong dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I'm gonna swing, I'm gonna start with a small, like a petite lover. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not gonna start with Hercules. I'm gonna
Yeah,
start with someone, someone small, gentle, that's not gonna hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
This, but hey, if that's his thing, all gravy, man. You know what I'm saying? I got no issue with that. If you watch a lot of the Roman history and stuff, it's
Hmm.
very common back then too. So it's all gravy. Now let me segue into this, and this is to further illustrate my you know, no issue with the gay community, right? I wrote an article, and I actually sent this to a couple of friends of mine before posting it because I wanted them to review it, to look at it, and tell me if it was in any way offensive, right? Because it wasn't my intent to be offensive, right? So
Hmm.
I wrote an article entitled, I watched trans porn, right?
Hmm.
Now, I was curious, man. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what it looks like. Here's the thing, though, man, and this is if you see the article, you will see like I actually I'm a contributor to Huffington Post, right?
Yeah.
And I submitted it to their Queer Voices, and they did not publish it. They actually said, we don't want to publish this article. They turned it down. So I published it on my own website, and it's gotten decent traffic and stuff,
Yeah.
but like it was a very fair article of my experience, having seen that. And here's the thing, and I use this also to talk about the bathroom debate. With the exception of, having a penis, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm telling you, man, um,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the fact that I see, a penis there, it was like, holy shit, it's fucking hot. But I was very careful because I didn't want to appear as though I'm making light of
Yeah.
the situation because trans people, have a pretty hard time in our society.
Yeah.
So that's why I first sent it to a couple friends of mine who are trans to see what hey, listen, read this post and tell me if it looks like I'm making light of the struggle you go through. Does it sound
Oh
like
my
it?
God, it's
You
so
know,
it's horrible, man. Like I heard stories of physical attacks. How can you hurt another human being? In Brazil, they killed that one
well,
video leaked of it. Like, how could you hurt
those,
another?
you
God,
know, not the rest of the world isn't quite caught up.
jeez, man.
And in fact, the United States isn't completely caught up, but it's safer here than it is in a place like Brazil,
They, oh my
or
God,
Africa, or the
yeah,
Middle East, or like other parts of the world, even Jamaica. Like I saw a video of a Jamaican who was being escorted by the police because they wanted like a mob.
human being. Listen, man, I'm not gonna judge nobody on that. I'm gonna treat them just like a who they are. They're a person, and that's whatever, man. Angel, I'm not gonna put hate on
You know,
nobody,
you
man.
know, you know, the, you don't have to like it. You don't
Yeah,
have to accept it. You don't have to understand it.
yeah,
Just leave them alone. They're entitled to their life, and that's what I tell people.
yeah,
Just you know, just live and let live.
yeah,
And this is why I wrote the article because I wanted to show people that a hot-blooded Latino male from the South Bronx
yeah,
could do something like that, and I'm still confident that I'm a heterosexual guy. Like
yeah.
I'm not walking around worried about, people, and mind you, people, I mean, I took my dog to the vet, and I had some guy scream, you're a freaking, you know, uh,
What?
uh, just because I was carrying a small dog in a little bag, and
Ah, what a
the
doofus.
Bronx in me at that moment kind of like I hesitated, like the street in me was like, I mean, where we come from, check this out, folks. Where we come from, when we were coming up, being called gay or being called, FAG
Mm-hmm.
was a way to take away your manhood,
Oh my
right?
God.
Now, it still is that way in the ghetto, in the street, okay? So that's where I grew up. That's where I come from. So when I was walking and these guys said that to me, that that 14,
Switch.
15-year-old kid from the street switched in me where it's like now I gotta beat the shit out of these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like I gotta go jack them up for this. Then the older person in me kind of said, wait a minute, I know a lot of gay people that are very nice. So why would it bother me that they call me gay? And I kind of waved at them.
That's all. You just wave
I
them
just
off.
waved and I just kept walking
They're suckers.
y'all take care, like, but
But it's great that you have that in you,
it's
that
ingrained.
awareness.
It's in,
That
it was ingrained in me at a
yeah,
young age that's how they take away your masculinity. So, I had that moment where I had to kind of like realize, wait a minute, Angel, you're not in the street anymore.
you're professional. You got a family. You can't get involved
What
in that stuff
you're
no
gonna
more.
go fight these young guys because they called you gay because you're carrying a pink little
Yeah.
bag with a small dog in it? Like, seriously?
This is a great outlook on being a young man and living your life. It's actually a verse. It's to be as wise as a wolf and as gentle as a dove. That's the mindset. You have that wisdom in you from growing up hard and stuff like that. But at the same time, you're beyond that now. So be aware and pick your situations. Those guys were low lives. But it could have got ugly and been a life or death situation. But you're above that, so you avoided it by using your
Well,
mind. You know what I'm saying, Angel? So you
well,
actually did the
imagine
right thing and the right response in that.
imagine that I was, a trans person or someone,
Oh,
that, you know, they could have gotten out that car and
yeah. Oh my
beating
God.
me up because of it. So the ignorance is out there. The ignorance is out there. Now they didn't get out the car because I think if you look at me, apparently I got a cara de pendejo, which some people think I'm, they just think I'm soft, but you probably think twice, maybe
Yeah,
just by my energy,
yeah,
the way I kind of look at you, and I would hope that you would have the sense to think, okay, you know what, this guy's not gonna roll over for me, like hope people,
yeah.
but some people don't,
They
and
must have been on drugs or like just out of
these
jail or
were just
something. Like,
just dumb young guys, they were,
ah,
and I was like, it's not worth it. A couple days ago, I was walking home and somebody screams at me, like, what the fuck you looking at? And I looked at him and I kind of went like this to him. I nodded and I kept walking.
God, man, I'm so
You
glad
know,
I'm out of the city. See, that scares me because I have that MMA fighter mentality, man,
but
that
that
I
mentality
just
should tell
going to
you,
destroy him all.
but
And I don't want to hurt
that should
nobody.
give you more control though,
Yeah, it
because
does, but at the same time, if somebody gets in my space, like,
but you got to
ah,
know that you're more dangerous.
Yeah.
So
God.
you got to have that extra discipline. Like because of the fact that, and I haven't been training for a while, but the fact that I have some training, it
Yeah, you
makes me
still got it in
aware.
you. Yeah.
It makes me aware that I can hurt somebody. And the
Yeah.
fact that I own guns, all these things make me aware that if I get in a situation and I hurt someone in New York City, I will
Hmm.
be crucified. And mind you, hold up. Let me highlight this real quick, right? I'm gonna highlight this one because this was another point I wanted to talk about, and we could segue into that. In New York City, if I'm in the street and I react and I get into a fight and stuff, everything that I've written, the fact that I own guns, all this stuff will be used to crucify me.
Oh my
Now,
God.
now,
That's one of the first videos I saw. You were showing a gun and stuff. That's what caught my attention too. Yeah, back in the day, I was like, yo, this
it's
dude is a
gun
badass.
safety. Let us be
Yeah, gun
clear.
safety,
Gun
gun safety.
safety,
Yeah, yeah,
folks.
yeah. You are like
I wasn't,
you are
yeah,
like Tupac.
yeah, I
Thug
wasn't.
life.
I wasn't
I'm sorry.
flashing guns, people. I was showing gun safety. But this brings me to this point. Did you hear the story about the man who beat the crap out of a guy who was trying to rape his wife?
The African dude?
Yeah.
No, no, no. I saw it on Facebook and passed.
Well, so
What was the
this
full story on it?
well, so some guy was in a home invasion trying to rape the guy's wife. Somehow she pulled away from the guy and called the husband. The husband came, caught the guy, I think in the hallway, and proceeded to put a whooping on him, but he ended up dying. So this brings me back to that point that I was just telling you. In New York City, all right, somebody tries to rape your wife, you beat the crap out of them, you kill them, and then you go to jail. You see what I'm saying? So this is why, and this is why I'm telling you, walk away. You know, don't get into a fight, especially in a place like
I'll
New
tell you
York.
right now, somebody comes to my house, tries to hurt my family.
I
You
mean,
know?
but you see that statement right there
Yeah,
will be used against you.
yeah.
They'll say, we have video of Mr. Collazo. The defense has video of Mr. Collazo saying in advance if they
So
came into
somebody
his
try to
house.
break into your house and you use one of your constitutional right and you shot that man, you would get charges against you. You're telling me?
In New York City, you're gonna get arrested, and whether or not you get out, I
Yeah,
mean that's gonna, but you're gonna get arrested. You're not gonna be able to say stand your ground. You're not gonna be able to say castle doctrine.
yeah.
You know, you're gonna get you're
God, it's
gonna.
so I love that we have such strict gun laws, man. But also like a thing like staying your ground, I don't really agree with either, man. Like it's like it,
But I
it's tough.
think I think there are extremes, but I think a man and his family should be safe in their own home, and if
Yeah,
somebody enters your home,
all bets are off,
it
man.
should be all bets are off. Unfortunately, in a place like New York, you're supposed to retreat. You're supposed to retreat
That's
and try to get
unbelievable.
away from the like okay, get out. I'm hiding in the bedroom and I have a gun. You better leave. Don't come back here. But you're supposed to retreat until you can no longer safely retreat,
That's
which
unbelievable.
is crazy. And that's New York City. That's why I'm saying like this guy, you know, she beat the crap out of this dude. So here's the argument that they're going to say. He had already left the premise. He didn't actually rape her. He was no longer posing a threat to the woman. So you use excessive force. That's going to be how they're going to try to get him. I'm sure of it because the thing is, in self-defense and things like that, there has to be an active threat.
Yeah.
So, all the listeners be aware of this, particularly those of you in New York City. If there is no longer a threat to you, meaning that the person fled. So let's say somebody breaks into your house, right? And they try to harm you or harm your family, but then they run away. Technically, legally speaking, if you, let's say he's trying to run out the door and you blast him, you're going to get in trouble. That's New York.
That's so
That's New York.
crazy.
Because no longer the threat is trying to flee. There's no longer a threat. So, I mean, if you walk in the house and someone's raping your wife or trying to rape your kid, I'm gonna, well, let me know. I'm not gonna say nothing, but
Yeah,
but
I
let's
know.
just say that I'm gonna have a problem with that. You
Yeah.
understand? I'm gonna have a major problem with that. So, but if that motherfucker's running out, you're supposed to let the law
So
handle
they
it.
don't want you to chase him down. So that's the mistake that he made. He went and he took law
He
into his own
he
hands.
went after the threat was no longer applicable. So if the law is like, in the defense of your property or your family or whatever, but he
Yeah.
was no longer a threat to her. He fled. You
Yeah.
see? So that's how they're going to try to catch him. Now, I would argue that it's a crime of passion,
Yeah.
and he should be, but New York City's flaky like that. New York City makes it difficult to be a good person. It makes it
Yeah.
dangerous to be a good person, to be a law-abiding citizen. They make it that, you know, the bad guys have the advantage always.
You could actually find this video on YouTube. It's kind of similar. I think it was in the early 90s, the late 80s. There was a kid who got molested by his martial arts instructor. So they're walking him through the airport in handcuffs, and the father was sitting there acting like he was on the payphone. As they're
I saw
walking him
that
by, he
video.
turns around and he shoots the guy in the head and kills him.
I saw that
The
one.
father got off.
I saw
I
that video.
have,
Where did this happen?
I think it was Texas or something like that.
But
Honestly,
you
I
see,
have no problem with that.
Texas.
You
That's
know,
Texas.
yeah,
And in Texas there was a similar situation in Shiner, Texas. The guy caught someone molesting his daughter, and
yeah,
he punched the crap out of him, and he called the cops. He said, "Listen, I just beat this guy up. He was raping my child." And the guy died, but the guy got off. You know why he
yeah,
got off? Because that's Texas.
yeah.
It's a free state where the law makes sense, and you get to defend your family. But in a damn place like New York City, where
Yo,
it's run by extreme liberals, and mind you, I don't have a major, I'm not gonna make this political about left and right, but
that guy's ruining the city,
you
man.
know, but this well, this is way before even that freaking guy, but it's a city that is controlled by very far left liberals, and they're very anti-gun, they're very anti-self-defense, they're very
Hmm.
anti, defending yourself. They're all about, you know, life. Life is beautiful. If he raped her, he can go to jail and serve his time. But that's not how we see it. That's not how the rape victim sees it. They're scarred for life.
Yeah.
You know, I have extremely strong views when it comes to rapists and child molesters, man. And I'm talking like, you
Do you
know,
think the penalty to that should be death, or do you
I
think it should
think they
be?
should be gone, man. Once you commit the act, you need to be gone. I have, I'm more forgiving of someone who pulls a trigger from across the street and shoots you than somebody who's actively present to rape you. All right? Any coward can stand across the street, point a gun, and pull a trigger. Any scumbag coward
Yeah.
can do that. But to actually be present,
Oh God, I'm
become,
gonna I'm gonna tell you a story, man, that broke my heart. You know that honestly, those are broken people, and you're right, Angel. They should really be like shipped off somewhere, or
oh,
they're gonna do it again. All right, so I had a job in security for years before I got employed by the post office, and one of the jobs that I took, which I wish I would have never took because it was high paying in the security field, which is not that high paying, but for security it was good money. Actually, working with the sex offenders, where
hmm,
I would be on a property in a trailer, and it was like 20 sex offenders would come in, and by New York State, I think it's by 10 p.m. they have to sign in with the state, and they have to sign in and sleep in this trailer at night. They're not allowed to be out. Basically, that's how it works. So
a
they would go to
trailer?
sleep, yeah, trailer, and I would be there at my desk, and I would sign them in. They would fill out their paperwork every morning. Sometimes the sheriffs would come and check on them and stuff. And like I was on guard, I would talk to them. They would try and be friendly and stuff. One guy's like, "Oh, you don't have to be all tough. We're nice guys in here." I was like, "Fuck you, man! Did you say that to the little kids when you
Oh
fucking
shit.
assaulted them?" So Angel, so it was like a calm environment. Well, my other partner, this is kind of a fucked up joke. I fell asleep in there, and he woke me up, and he's like, "Dude, you keep falling asleep in here. You're gonna wake up with a dick in your mouth."
Oh shit.
But that's neither here nor there. But anyway, as they would sleep, I didn't feel threatened, because they would attack children or small people and stuff. So as they would sleep, I would go and I would look up their crimes because it was made public,
Mm,
and just the details that it would get into, man. How I think somebody being a rapist is one of the lowest forms of life. Some of them were just holding people at knife point and babysitters. Like it got really detailed, and just to prey on somebody like that is just like you said, the penalty should be death, man. To have somebody so scared and you're doing that to them is just, it's a horrible
it's
thing,
a
man. I
piece of
can
shit.
never even imagine, man, like doing something like that. I've been intimate with naked, beautiful women, and I would even tell them like, "Are you sure you want to do this stuff and that?" I don't know where people
Right.
have that switch where they just go. I just, it's not. It's
It's
something that we can't understand.
right. Some people
Like, how
argue
can
that
you
it's a
hurt?
it's a mental illness, and particularly pedophilia, the ones who like the children. And you know, I can understand that. And if you have, let's say an individual has an attraction to children, okay? And it is a mental illness, right? We shouldn't make them feel scared to try to get help, right? Um, in our society, if somebody comes and they say, I like kids, I need help, we want to beat the shit out of them, and that makes
Yeah,
them hide. That makes
yeah,
them hide and not get help. So I support them coming to get help, but once you act on it, once you actually act on it. By the way, Jared Fogle was
I
having
was just thinking of Jared.
and I'm glad that motherfucker's getting his ass whooped in prison. He got the
Yeah,
shit beat out of him by like a 60-year-old guy who hated child molesters. So beautiful thing. But if you haven't acted on it and you can get help, you should be able to come forth and get help. You shouldn't have to hide, right? Um, Once you act on it, that's where we have a problem. You understand? If you are attracted to children, fine. Maybe it is a mental illness. I don't know. I'm not expert in it. I've read quite a good deal of documentation on it, and I believe that there may be a mental problem there. And if that can be treated, then the person shouldn't be punished for seeking help
yeah.
because they're trying to prevent
They
the
gotta be
the
reprogrammed.
crime. They're trying to prevent the crime. So the crime is not being attracted to them. You know, they're attracted to what they're attracted to. The crime is to actually do it. You know, so if we have to tell, and this is also for the listeners, obviously for the listeners and for
Yeah,
us, and you know, the, if someone is attracted to children and they want to get help, let's not force them to hide, because if we force them to hide, they'll never get the help, and then one day they'll snap. So
yeah,
no one is against pedophiles more than me.
yeah,
When once you have committed the crime, acted on it, at that point, you know, in my eyes, you're done. You're
you're
done.
dehumanized,
You should be eliminated. That's it. You're no longer. I don't want to fix you. I don't want to heal you. I'm not gonna put you in jail for 2 years so you could come out and do it again. At that point, in my mind, you're done. Okay. So that's how I feel about the ones who do it. But if there's an individual, and I actually had a conversation with a young person who was abused, right? They were relatively young, but old enough, right? And they told me, they're like, like I was abused as a child, and I think because of that now I'm attracted to younger people. But I've never acted on it, and I've tried to, treat it. I've been going for treatment and stuff. The problem is that we have to fear about what people will do to us if we come forward, and I get that. So the person doesn't want to feel that way. They don't want to act on it, and they're trying to get help. I think that that should be allowed for them. That they should be given that, because
yeah,
that will prevent the child abuse. If we force them to hide, and then one day they act, and then we get them and we crucify them and kill them, the damage is done. Why not prevent it? And I read an interesting article by Margot, I forget her name, some woman for the New York Times.
yeah.
She made a compelling argument about the mental aspects of it, and
I
how
was
we
just gonna
should,
talk about that. Yeah,
yeah, how we should not force them into hiding, which is interesting. It's interesting. My views are very strong once you've committed the crime. If you go and you rape a child or you rape a woman, at that point, I want you in Gen Pop. If you go to prison and you're not being killed, I want you in Gen Pop.
yeah.
I want you with
I
the
don't think I don't think anybody's ever born a pedophile, man. I think it's something. Maybe it's you know, it's a chain that goes down. It's like abuse that passes on. They were abused in their life, or they get confused somehow along the way, man. It's such a deep situation, to talk about. Like, who breaks down this topic, other than us right now? It's so.
Yeah, I
There's different theories on it. Some people say it's something with the brain. Like there's so many. There's
I
books
mean,
on the topic. It's just,
my, I mean, the bottom line for me with this thing is, you know, if they haven't committed the crime and they want to get help, provide the help. If they've committed the crime, put them in Gen Pop. It's
man,
simple as that.
Angel, and I was around it up close, man. A lot of them were young men. A lot of them there were young men in the 20s. There was the older, creepy ones, like how you would think they would look, but
Yeah.
and a
Yeah.
lot of them did it to
Yeah.
family members. That's why you never trust nobody with your kids, man. I was taught at a very young age, don't mess with nobody's kids, man. You know, always,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh God, it was horrible, man.
Wow. That's crazy.
And it's more common than you think. See, I can't say this is 100% true. Somebody told me this. I have to see something with my own eyes to say, but somebody told me that they spend a lot of time in Thailand and stuff, and when they go to the markets or whatever the major shopping area, you see a lot of American businessmen walking around with young Thai girls and young Thai boys. And I hope it's not true. I hope they were just exaggerating the story. If that's true, that's scary. You know?
Oh, I can believe that. I can believe that it's a major problem in those countries, and
Oh my
it
God, you're not kidding.
and it's yeah, it's the people from the Western countries that are fueling it, man.
There's
You
even a
know?
sex slave trade that goes on in this world. How fucked up is this world that there's a black market sex slave industry that a lot of people don't know about? I knew a girl who was like fighting against it in New York. She knew about it. I didn't really get that too deep into it with her. I would love to contact her and interview her on it one day. She would be a great guest for your show. I
Mm.
could find her. But that's crazy that even goes on in this world today. Angel, can you believe that?
Oh no,
Jesus Christ.
I'm quite aware of it, man. I've watched a few documentaries on sex trafficking, and it's crazy, man. It really is. And what's crazier is that there's a market for it. There's a market.
Unbelievable.
There's a demand for it. So it's nuts, man. I mean, I don't know much about it in depth and stuff, but I know it exists, and I know that there's a demand for it. There's some sick people out there, and those guys should be punished accordingly, man. They should be punished accordingly. It's nasty business, man. It's nasty business.
Listen, I spent some time on the deep web, man. There's a lot of sick people out there, man. It's a scary world, man. Thank God for good people like me and you, man, because there's some sick freakazoids out there.
Oh, man,
God.
we are coming up on an hour,
Oh
and
yeah.
this is nuts, man.
I
We
know. It feels
don't
like we've been here
we
20 minutes.
we haven't we have barely scratched the surface of topics we wanted to talk about, but this is good because I expected that to be the case. Like,
Yeah.
I have topics. So the way I've always done my show is like, especially when I've done it by myself recently, is I have the bullets and I just read and talk about
Mm-hmm.
them briefly and
Bullet
stuff.
points.
But when you're doing it with a person, it's good because this is a conversation. I don't even really need the script.
It's an
You know?
organic conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a conversation. We've been talking about several different topics, and you know, some of it was guided by what I covered, but I'm telling you, I still have maybe 85 to 90% of what I wanted to cover today untouched. And you know what? It's cool because this is what makes it different than doing it by yourself. Because you do it by yourself, what you're doing is, this is the situation,
I
and
remember.
I'll rant about it. I'll
Yeah.
go and rant and stuff, but we've had a completely dynamic conversation, and we've covered an hour easily without even scratching the surface. So I try to keep it under an hour to not lose people and knock them to sleep. So let's do this. Let's finish on this one topic that I wanted to well, there's a whole bunch of topics I
I
wanted to
know.
cover, but I want to talk about this one because this is controversial, and I'm going to use this as the
Controversy creates cash, baby.
I'm going to use this as the title of the article to attract the eyes, because I know this is going to get people heated if they even get this far into it. I hope they do. All right. Do you think women are equal to men?
So I think women are equal to men. Yes.
Ah! that's
as
the
human
that's
beings, as human
that's
beings, yes.
that's the
I
correct answer.
I
And
think it's different though. I think we serve
yo,
different
this
purposes.
this guy, let me tell you where this comes from, man. This guy at the gym tells me, I'm not gonna drop his name. I invited him to come on the show, by the way. He said he'll come, but obviously anonymously. He doesn't want to reveal himself with such a level of ignorance. But he said to me, Angel, women are not equal to men. Women are beneath us.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Women women are trying to get into positions of leadership. We're giving them positions of power, but they're not leaders. They're followers. They're servants. They are beneath
Oh,
us. They are not equal to us. And I was like, please tell me more. Where is this? Where do you get this worldview from? And he says Corinthians, and then he pulls out a passage,
no,
and
no, no, no. He's got it all wrong. In the Bible, it says the woman she helps the man. He has it all misinterpreted and wrong.
so the one he showed me, it says God is the head of man, and man is the head of the household, right? Meaning the head of the woman, right? So he says, how can the woman be equal to the man if the Bible says it?
Ah,
And,
he's
and, I, said,
misinterpreting it.
and I said, man, if you're taking the Bible literally like that, take off your sneakers because that has leather in it. And that means that's
Yeah,
got pig skin on it. And that means you're a sinner.
he's interpreting
You
it.
know,
What it means by the man is the head of the house is the man is the provider, to keep the roof over the head works and stuff. The
but
woman's
even
just as much
even
as a
that
part of it, man.
even
Like
that is
he's
not like even that isn't really the norm anymore.
Oh yeah,
Like
sometimes women provide now, and the
it's
man is home raising the kids. The world has changed, you know.
it's it but this guy adamantly believes that women are inferior,
No,
like
I couldn't even.
on every level, like on every level, meaning like they're not equal to men,
Oh my
and
God.
I think we can all agree, I think, that physically men are generally stronger than women.
Yeah,
We are physically generally going to be stronger. Other than that, when it comes to your brain and brain
yeah.
functions, meaning doing a job or whatever, if it
Oh my
doesn't,
God. I would never ever say that a man is better than a woman. That's stupid, man. We're all human beings.
I mean, in terms of brain function, you know,
That's what he was
um,
going. That's what he was saying.
yeah,
Ah, he's an idiot.
we're all,
We're humans. We're equal.
your
Yeah,
brain is your brain. The brain could be put into any shell and
yeah.
perform the job. It's irrelevant of your sex. This guy I thought it was unbelievable to hear him talk. I was just like, wow,
Listen, a
like
lot of people misinterpret the Bible, man. Jesus never ever said anybody was better than anybody like that. So people make up their own stuff, and it gives Christians a bad name, man.
yeah, I tell you. It was three of us in the conversation, and one of the guys was like, "Angel, I'm out of here. I can't take this guy," and he walked away. He was like,
Oh,
I
oh,
can't believe this guy." And I was like, but I'm fascinated by this level of ignorance, like to encounter this in real life and have it in front of me. To me, it's like,
you
it's
should have
just
been like, you stupid. That's what you should have told them.
to me, it was just like, God, tell me more. I mean, tell me more about this. Like, do you, like when you have a woman, do you beat her? Do you think that you can do these things? Do you think that she has to serve you? Like, what is your outlook on life? Are you even able to hold a relationship when you have this type of mindset, or do you not tell her? Like, please tell me how your brain works because I want to understand this. Meanwhile, and I don't want to drop any details on it, but let us just say that this individual isn't in any particularly um, glorious position in the
I was
world.
gonna say I would have been like, yo, dude, I could tell you don't get laid or something like
Yeah,
that.
let's
But
let's just
listen,
say that this guy isn't in a position of power. He's not in a position of, and now let me get this clear. I respect the working man. I don't care what you do. I don't care where you're from. I don't care who. I respect the person who works regardless of what you do. Um, but the fact of the matter is that, this guy told me what he does for a living, and he's not in a, it's not like he's in of an elite. You know what I'm saying? To be able to talk down on anyone, right? He should actually kind of be humble. You know, even if you were an elite, you should be humble. But generally, and again, I'm generalizing here, but the people who come from money and rich, they're generally assholes. Many of them, not all of them, because
Yeah.
they've been entitled to everything all their life. But this guy is not in that type of a situation. This is a regular guy like me and you, who's just going through life. But he is of this mindset that he's superior to women,
He's an
which
idiot.
to me was just baffling,
Dude,
man.
if you hear this, you're an idiot.
I told him to come on. I told him to come on the show so that we could talk. And it's like, listen, you don't have to tell who you are. You don't have to say who you are. I just want people to
Oh,
hear it
God.
straight from the horse's mouth. I want them to listen to what I'm listening to.
I
This
love women.
gold.
I don't know how somebody could like, but you know what, man? Look, there's different countries. Like, look at Russia, where it's all based on aggression and crush, and the men dominate the woman, and they, there's a lot of messed up stuff. Or even, I don't want to say specific cultures where I seen the women don't talk back to them, and the men are very aggressive with them in America. So it's like there's a lot of crazy
Oh yeah.
stuff and a lot of old school mindsets that
Oh yeah.
go on like
And
that.
obviously you encounter them in the gym in Kew Gardens, man.
Yeah, and in
You
Kew
encounter it
Gardens,
here, man. In Kew Gardens at the gym, you're gonna encounter it.
that's
It's just
crazy.
bizarre.
What a
But
knucklehead.
But man, we've gone over the hour, so listen, man, tell everybody how they can find you if they want to like connect with you on social media, how people find you, where you live, so they can, they if they dig the conversation, they can hit you up, and then I'll tell them how to find me because they obviously know if they're here. But go ahead, brother.
So my name is Will Collazo. I'm a aspiring film director, well, independent film director slash MMA fighter. When I actually fight, I'm trying to get back on that again. Got to lose a few pounds here and there. Other than that, man, hopefully me and Angel could get this going, a weekly spot or something like that with this podcast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
for
that's it.
sure.
Angel, take it away, man. I hope you guys enjoyed some of my views. I speak real and I speak from the heart. I
Yes,
know I
it's the
may
best
offend
way to
some
do it,
people,
man.
but
It's the
that's just
best
the
way
way
to
I
do it.
gotta be, man.
It's the best way to be. It's the best way to be is to be real, man. And I do my
Yeah.
best. I do my best to be as real as possible. You know, I I do try not to offend people as much as I used to, and part of that has come with just as I get older, I understand things better, particularly what we were talking about earlier in regards to the race, in regards to skin color, the
Yeah.
privilege, things like that. Like I've realized it as I've gotten older and I've acknowledged it, and it's growth. We're always growing, we're always improving, we're always learning, you know. Folks, if you're listening to this, you might know who I am. If you don't, I'll tell you. My name is Angel Rodriguez, and every damn social media connection is Angel R Talk. Whatever it is that you are on, look up Angel R Talk and you'll find me on it. Except Snapchat. I couldn't change Snapchat. So on Snapchat, I'm still a Rodimus. But on everything else, I'm Angel R Talk all across the board. Twitter, Facebook, everything. This is also going on YouTube, folks. It's going on
Yeah.
iTunes. It's going on everything. Um,
And wait a
I,
second, one more point. Check it out, guys. Independent horror film called The Theater of Horror. Good.
couple
We're
of
gonna
years delayed.
You know
Someone,
what? I got
ladies
so
and
busy
gentlemen,
with
someone
work.
doesn't back up their crap.
I
Let's
know. I got so busy with my promotion at work, dude, that it's been so crazy, man. But it's distributed and it's gonna get out there. You're gonna be able to buy the DVD. And you're gonna see my man Angel, man. He definitely
It was
starts the
fun.
movie with a bang and he goes out with a bang. So you gotta check it out.
Oh man, that is
Oh
awesome.
man, we did Angel dirty in this
That, that,
movie.
y'all gonna enjoy this. It
Hey,
was
all you
fun.
people who hate on Angel, you'll get to see Angel.
You get to see a lot of me, okay? First of all, I was 80 pounds heavier, by the way.
But
You
you
know.
carried it well though. You look like Tony Soprano. You didn't look like Big Pun, all right? Come on, you still with a smooth Mac.
Oh man, that was a good time. It was a lot of fun, folks. The film was fun. It's
You get to see
different.
Angel
It's
shoot a few people. It's a little Pulp Fiction,
yeah.
and the big thing is,
Don't tell him. Don't tell him, man. Don't tell him. Y'all gotta see what this guy does to
it's
me, man.
really good. It's really good, guys.
It's funny.
I'm so excited.
My wife was cracking up when we saw the snippet of it. My son was cracking up. Y'all
I
gotta
still
see
watch it.
what you gotta see
Yo,
what
when I'm
happens to
sad, I
me.
watch that shit.
You guys gotta see what happens to me. and the actual memory of filming it, right?
Yeah, did you
Remembering
talk
what
about that real quick before we get out of here?
remembering what happened was is just funny to me. Like I ain't gonna tell you guys what happens, but he's like, okay, Angel, do this, right?
And Angel's looking at me. He's like, what?
So I'm
I'm like,
like,
Angel, do this and go, aye.
yeah, and make it more. And I'm like, okay. He's like, no, no, shake more, do more. And I'm like, it was. Those of you listening, my hands are up and shaking. Okay, if you're not watching this, all right. My hands are going like this, like I'm shaking them, like I'm swimming or something, you know. Um, that was funny. He's like, do it a little more, a little more. It's actually kind of hurts right now because I trained my back yesterday, so my
Yeah.
back's mad sore from train.
Oh
Well,
man.
actually, not yesterday. It was on Tuesday. So I have this delayed onset muscle soreness, ladies and
Oof.
gentlemen. For those of you who like technical terms, that's called DOMS, DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. Usually comes on about the second day due to a buildup of lactic acid. But that's neither here nor there.
That's
My
what I have
hands
in
were
my leg.
shaking like this, and
Real
you got
quick,
to see what
did you
happened.
have fun during the shoot? Did you have a good
Oh
time? Was it a
yeah,
positive
I
experience?
had a blast, man. That was a trip. I would actually love to do more of it. You know, like
Yeah.
you almost got me believing like I can act.
You
You know what
can,
I
man.
mean?
You did a good job, bro. Like,
You
and you
almost
know what?
convinced me that I can act. You know, like I'm actually like can actually do this stuff, and
And how
you
cool
know,
if somebody buys the movie, man, which I believe they will, because I believe in the product, I believe in the movie. Like, you're gonna be able to have that DVD, and like maybe it'll be in small stores and stuff. We're not gonna make money off it, but it'll get our names out there and bring us to another level. It's a good feeling, man, to
yeah,
complete it. And I'm glad you believed in me and was like, who is this crazy mother effer telling me to show up in the village?
yeah. When I
I
walked
was
into
like, yo,
that
show up in the
basement, I
village. I
was
got a
like,
part for you.
yeah. I showed up in that basement. It was shot in a basement, a very creepy basement with a very creepy entrance, and I was like, should I have brought my gun?
That's what I was thinking.
Am I
So.
gonna die here? Is
It,
this literally gonna be a theater of horrors for me?
oh, it was a
No,
good
but it was a
time.
blast. It was a blast. Folks, this is my man Will. Y'all should get to know him because we're gonna be doing stuff together, and
Oh,
it's always,
look out.
yeah. We
The
got some
Boricua, the
ideas.
Puerto Rican invasion, baby.
Well, the white Puerto Ricans, right? This is why I got the ink right there. See,
I'm
I got
thinking
some.
about getting See, that's going to be a whole nother podcast, too, man.
Oh man, I don't tan. I lobster.
Yeah. Yo, Angel, man, I'm serious, man. If you like how the way the show turned out, man, have me back, man. I'll do a weekly spot with you, brother.
Yeah, no doubt, man. This was good. This was fun. I've avoided committing to like a time for
Yeah.
shooting them because I used to, for those of you who don't know, I used to do this weekly. So I used to do it weekly live. It was live on the air on a couple of different stations on internet stations using Live 365. I was with War Radio. War Radio was primarily more politics leaning, and they were a right-wing radio station. So my views weren't exactly in line with their agenda, so I kind
I
of pulled
think you
away.
did the right thing by getting out of there, though. That seemed like, yeah, I don't know. It seemed,
I don't know that it was a great fit,
yeah, I don't want you to talk bad about them, nothing like
No,
that,
no,
but
no, no,
I
no.
feel like it
We
was
we
like,
those people are my friends,
yeah,
man. They're my boys.
yeah,
We're cool. It's just we have different political views.
yeah,
And when I first joined up there, my views were in line with their views, and I've evolved.
yeah.
I've evolved, and my views changed.
That's what life
And
is all about, man.
yeah,
Evolving and growing, man, as a human being.
changing and learning, and I felt like I was alienating their listenership because I'm coming on here providing a completely different viewpoint, and they wanted me to stick around as the alternate view, but I felt like I just didn't feel like I wanted to promote something that supported views that I didn't support. And the same thing, I used to write for this couple platforms like WND and Clash Daily, who are very, very far right wing. And what was happening was towards the end, I was getting a lot of hate because my views were moderate. My views were, middle ground, sometimes left, sometimes right, depending on what the issue is. I don't subscribe to politics blindly, but these sites and these stations were very, very um, right wing leaning. So a guy like me was all I was doing was alienating the listeners and getting attacked. So I
Yeah,
thought it was probably best for me to pull away. And we're still friends, like we're still friends,
yeah,
we're still cool. I still We just don't agree politically. That's all.
I
And
think
that's
just following you on social media, I think in the past year you've grown a lot also too. I think also the weight loss has helped you too, man. You seem more enlightened and more positive and stuff. I'm not saying that you were negative before, but I would see like some of your things where something would piss you off and you would post it. Like if somebody gave you a dirty look down the street or something like that. That seems to be all gone now, and it seems to be mostly your focus on you and you just focus on your training and stuff like that. It's crazy how that changes your mindset, and you know what I'm saying, man? Like it
well,
seems like you kind of elevated the past year, you know?
yeah, I think I mean, definitely backing off the politics to a degree has been helpful,
Yeah. Because I
because
remember
they
you were pissed off a little bit at one point. Like I remember you put a lot of videos where people were pissing you off and stuff, but I haven't seen that in a long time. I'm not saying that's a bad thing on you, but I've been seeing
I
mostly
get I,
positive things.
I have my moments. I
Yeah.
have my rants where I go off and you know but I mean I don't commute anymore. I work
Maybe
two
that's
minutes
why
from
I think
home.
because you were probably commuting a lot. That's why
You
you're
know,
dealing with all the
I'm
crazies.
I'm 2 minutes from home, so I don't have to deal with anyone on the train. Likelihood of me encountering anyone who's crazy is lowered. And I like I told you with that guy earlier on. He's like, "What the fuck you looking at?" And I just kind of
Uh,
looked at him and I nodded and I kept walking. He's like, "I'm talking to you." He's like, "Listen, man, if you want to fight me, just attack me. Don't don't you don't have to build up. You don't have to ask me what I'm looking at. You don't have to hot step to get yourself. Just come and try to punch me. Try to
That's
hit
some
me."
primal stuff. Can you believe that people are so stupid that they would take it to that level? If I'm gonna fight somebody in the street, it's not an MMA fight. It's life and death. I'm gonna protect myself and do what I have to do to take you out. You know what I'm saying? Like that somebody that doesn't even know you would take it to that level and threaten you and want to come at you in that way. You didn't even do anything to them. That just shows the kind of people out there, man. Like,
Oh, this guy was off. There's something off there, and
ugh,
his I just kept walking. Another time in this neighborhood too, man, and it's a nice neighborhood, right? A guy swung on me.
what?
He swung on me, and I ducked. And when I came around, I bobbed and weaved, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bobbed and weaved, and I came around and I loaded up for the hook. And when I looked at his face, he wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This guy was just, it was a
probably heroin or something. Yeah,
no, it was
mentally ill. Yeah.
mentally ill. And then he spoke, and he spoke like that, and I was like, and I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to illustrate that had I not hesitated, you know,
You would have caught him with the Tyson.
I would have, yeah, I would have knocked out a mentally ill individual who's
Possibly.
walking in the street. But he swung on me. So
Yeah.
most people won't, I moved, I bob and weaved, and I came here and I loaded up and I looked at him and then I saw his eyes and he kind of went and he stumbled off and I was like, oh, that guy's not right. I can't hit him. He,
Even when
I,
we were doing the movie, me, Angel, and another martial artist, a black belt in Jeet Kune Do, we're standing outside, and these two guys approached us asking for money, and they looked like they were junkies. You remember that? And we kind of had them surrounded.
oh, you're talking about the restaurant?
Yeah, the
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
restaurant.
yeah, 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 yeah. Took
These
me a
dudes
second to
looked like they
remember.
were going to do something, but they didn't realize that they were surrounded by three predators.
Yeah, three martial arts guys that you know would have probably. Those guys they were definitely crackheads, or
Yeah, but they were looking like they were going to pounce and try and do something and stuff,
yeah,
But
this was not the intelligent thing to do.
oh man, they would have
I
got
think they
Chuck
I think they
Norris.
sensed it. I think you when you talk to a person, you could tell if they're scared
Yeah,
or you can tell if they're somewhat street smart and they will fight you, you know.
yeah,
So I think those guys, when they come, it's like, yo, man, you got money for the train? It's like, I ain't got nothing for you, brother.
yeah.
Automatically, it's like, oh, man, he's not afraid to
You
engage
gotta
me.
cut
He's
them
like,
off, man. You gotta cut them off.
yeah, it's like, yo, I don't got nothing. You know how to get here? Nah, shit, I don't know nothing, man. I
I
ain't
remember
got.
me and my best friend, we were walking down somewhere in Manhattan, and this older Puerto Rican guy's like, "Papi, let me get some change." And my boy's like, "Yo, what? You got better shoes on than me. Get the fuck out of here!" And we just kept walking.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man, you gotta
That's
have fun.
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, man. I remember when we were younger, we were kids, man, and one of my boys, this homeless guy was following us, and he was like, yo, and I'm talking to you, and we just kept walking, and he
Yeah.
kept following us, and my friend just turned around. He turned around and took off his shirt, and he goes, ah! He went like Hulk, he did like the Hulk, and he's like, ah! And there was a milk crate. He grabbed the milk crate, and he launched it. He's like, ah! And then he chased the guy off. It was the funniest
I
thing,
love
man.
those Puerto Rican kids. Yo, there was always a group of kids. There was always this one quiet kid that when you would piss him off, he would turn into the Hulk and start messing everybody up. He would get mad and get hyped up. There was always one in the group.
Yo, man, I think they really need to give us credit for creating the Hulk, man, because the Puerto Ricans created this dude. He took off his shirt and he was mad hairy. He's a big guy, and he goes, ah! Stop following us! Grabs the crate, launches it, and the guy goes, ah! And he starts to run away, and my boy chases him. Dude, it was the funniest freaking thing ever, man. It was so funny, man. We're gonna have to do a podcast where we talk
I
about just some of those
know.
stories,
You
man.
got so much knowledge put on. You're like a mixture of like the legendary actors of the 80s and stuff, and you got the 90s in your Angel. You got so much good things. I want to hear your Webster Hall stories. Listen, next podcast, we're going to hear Angel's Webster Hall stories. We're going to tell you about love and relationships and how to seal the deal with a lady.
Yeah, we were supposed to cover a couple things on love and relationship. It ain't happening on this one, but we'll catch it on the next one.
Yeah.
Whatever's relevant at the time. And yeah, we'll have
This
some
was
more
a good time,
banter.
man. I had a lot of fun with this, man. This went fast, man. An hour felt like 30 minutes, man.
We in 90 minutes now, man.
Wow.
We've been going 90 minutes, folks. Folks, if you're enjoying this, you're listening to Angel Rodriguez and you're listening to Will Collazo. Collazo's doing podcasts. He does
YouTube.
what do you call those things?
Reaction
Reaction
videos, right?
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are something that I've been looking at. So you're
Oh, you
talking to
got to get
two
on that.
individuals, even though this is on my website and my iTunes, whatever, this guy's his own machine, man. He's his own machine doing things too. So y'all connect with him as well. Check out his YouTube,
Thank you, brother.
and you can expect great things from us individually, and you can expect some dope ass collaborations as well, man, because we're gonna do some good stuff for that movie, man. That's gonna
Oh
be
my
a trip.
God, a full feature, a lot of great stuff. You get to see Angel. He's all throughout the movie. He's kind of a bad guy / good guy. It's really something special, man. His name is Angel in the movie. He's a hitman in the movie. Come on.
Word. I'm a hitman, y'all. That was fun.
Remember this? I like to take a big shit before I job. You remember when you said that? I still crack up about that. The line in the movie. I'm losing it here, dude. You got me laughing too hard.
Oh man, yeah, that was trippy, man. That was a good time. I'm looking forward to seeing the whole thing,
Yo, you got me dying right now, bro. There's a line in the whatever. I can't even. I think we should end it on that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you heard, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Twitter. If you're listening on iTunes, click that subscribe button and make it more than 2.
And let us know in the comments. Talk to us. Let us know on Facebook or YouTube. Let us know so we could do more. We can give you more content. We got to know that you guys want to see it, and we will provide it.
What you want us to, if you have topics that you want us to cover, drop the topics. We're both very approachable, very accessible individuals.
I'll talk about anything, man. I'll tell you what.
And if you want to come on the show and you got something you want to talk about, come join us and be a third guest, and it'll be fun, man. We're all learning, man. This is a learning process for me. This is all learning, and we're trying to build a machine here. We're trying to grow, and we can't do it by ourselves. We need the community. So, comment, subscribe, rate,
and
all
this
that
is the
good stuff.
future. You guys are witnessing the future of media and video. This is better than radio. This is not censored. This is our podcast. We don't need advertisement. We don't need commercials. This is real. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get no better than this, guys. This is something,
Word. So, folks, look us up. We're definitely we're gonna keep doing big things.
Yes, sir. Everybody out there, God bless, man. Be safe. Be healthy.
Toodles.
www.nyctalking.com, the realest lifestyle blog ever. Please follow Angel R Talk on Twitter and Instagram. Please like NYC Talking on Facebook. Thanks for listening.